Hi, everybody. Welcome to this another edition of Niners 40 here on our podcast here on Niners Radio 49. We're in the Professor B's Candlestick Man Cave here in Satellite Digital Media Studios here in San Francisco. Welcome to Niners Radio Live Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. Be on for having a little of a podcast, just give you on what's going on with the 49ers as they prepare for week number 3 in the National Football League. As they're getting back to work today, as they're getting ready to take on the Los Angeles Rams, they will travel down there for an important divisional game coming up this week. And Niners trying to bounce back after a very disappointing loss to the Minnesota Vikings, putting that one behind them. And they'll take on the Rams, another team who has been hit by the injury bug themselves. And they have multiple guys are on injured reserve right now as and so we will get to what's going on in the NFL around the 49ers situation. Niners will be taking on the Rams. That's a 125 kickoff. That will be the second half of Fox's Sunday doubleheader as the 49ers, try to weather the storm. And we will we'll just take a look at the Niners and looking at this. Despite their loss, the Niners remain in the top 10 in the power rankings. By the way, this 49ers Niners Radio 49 podcast is presented by Ticketmaster. When they purchase tickets for upcoming home games for the 49ers, the Niners will be back. They'll take on the New England Patriots on September 22nd. Then they'll play the Cardinals on September 29th. Of course, the next stretch after this Sunday's game against the Rams in Southern California will be the stretch where they'll play 4 of the next 5 games at home. And get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Ticketmaster.com, the official ticket provider of your San Francisco 49ers. So, despite the loss yesterday, the 49ers are still in that top 10, a hard-fought battle. And looking at some of the So I'm gonna try to hit this and on the share screen. Looking after a hard-fought battle, the 49ers US Bank resulted in their first loss of the season. Looking at some of the final performers, Fred Warner had 9 tackles, an interception, 1 forced fumble, 1 sack, 2 breakup passes. Defensive lineman Nick Bosa, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and running back Jordan Mason had 100 yards rushing. What the outcome wasn't for San Francisco hoped for, the team's top-tier talent ability to overcome slow start with tactical plays down the stretch showed how the Niners thread tree in every outing. So this is from Eric Elam, lead draft writer. The 49ers sleepy early on Sunday had a punt block, turning the ball over on downs and twice and surrendering a 97-yard touchdown pass before getting back into the game a little. And, that was the difference of the game. You have a punt block. They get touchdowns after that, and the turnover, the 3 points they get out that punt block was the difference last Sunday. Nick Wagner from ESPN NFL Nation on the most important backup role player As a number 3 receiver, Niners lean on Juan Jennings to do the dirty work and deliver when it matters. He's earned the trust to handle the blocking duties from the outside receiver, de facto tight end. Since the start of the season, Jennings had a run block win with a rate of 84.8%, well above 79.2% for receivers. That span, if that's not enough, he has also earned the nickname third and one. That's kind of that third and one what Greg Papa does on his broadcast with his, with Tim Ryan for his ability to move the chains. 55 of his 85 career receptions has gone for first downs, 34 of those coming on third or fourth down. And from Bleacher Report 6, this is from Bleacher Report. After San Francisco dispatched the New York Jets relative with an ease in week 1, the belief was made that the team would experience a similar success in week 2 against Minnesota. But after allowing 400 yards of offense and 2 turnover performance by Brock Purdy, the Niners left the Twin Cities trying to figure out what went wrong in a 6-point loss. Then from Pete Prisco, CBS Sports senior writer, losing on the road after a Monday night game isn't too hard to understand, but they had too many defensive lapses against the Vikings, not having Christian McCaffrey for a month, maybe longer, and Deebo Samuel missing time won't help their offense either. So that was some of the thoughts of the Niners' disappointing loss on last Sunday up in Minneapolis. So we will look on as we move forward as the Niners will be taking on the Rams. And the Niners and Rams, that will be a 125 kickoff. That's a Fox late game. 125 kickoff, Niners and Rams. I don't know the sporting line on the points for that game, but the Rams themselves are dealing with a lot of injuries themselves, and they have lost multiple players due to injuries. And of course, they ain't going to be with Cooper Kupp or Here we go. So we continue on Niners Radio 49. Little apologize for the technical difficulties. So they're without Christian McCaffrey. The team's placed on IR and the Achilles tendon concerns. Now with Debo Samuel joined the list. Ian Rappaport reported on Monday that Samuel will miss several weeks due to a lower leg injury he suffered the team's road loss to the Vikings. And then Kyle Shanahan told reporters that Debo has a calf strain. He'll miss a few weeks. Another star injury for the Niners. Samuel's leading the Niners with 13 receptions and 164 yards in 2 weeks. He also been targeted most pass catcher on the roster, 19 in the first 2 games. The Whiteout signed a 3-year deal worth $71.5 million in 2022 that ran through 2026. Meanwhile, Caffrey had a 2-year deal, $38 million extension in June that kept them under contract through at least 2027. The combined two are making more than $100 million. 49ers will pay each of them to sit on the sideline for the next several games. McCaffrey must miss at least 4, including week 2, because he's on the injured reserve designated already sat for the first contest of the year. So his status is he could miss a little bit longer if possible. And then based on Rappaport's report, Samuel won't be back till at least week 5 or 6. That puts San Francisco's offense in precarious position. The team will now have to rely on heavy right receiver Brandon Ayuk, who has a slow start after holding out for most of the summer for a new deal. And then you look at the aging of George Kittle, who sees the number called more frequently, third year. Jordan Mason will need to keep trucking through the 2 weeks if the 49ers remain at the top of the NFC with McCaffrey and Samuel sidelined. So that's kind of the injury situation for the 49ers as they're trying to weather the storm to get some of these guys to come back when the opportunity is available. And the Niners looked in trying to reports that they're looking at for former Kansas City Chiefs and Cleveland Browns back Kareem Hunt, but he just signed a deal with the Kansas City Chiefs to be on their practice squad. So as for the Rams, they and we're just trying to wait for these downloads to take some time. But the latest on Cup's injury delivered good news for Los Angeles, and he didn't make it after the game. And a big surprise that Cooper Kupp will avoid injured reserve, where I thought he would miss at least 4 games. The Rams are more optimistic. On Wednesday, the team placed offensive lineman Jackson and safety John Johnson on the third on the injury reserve. That makes sense. Most men will miss extended amount of time, but notable the takeaway fact the Rams did not place Kupp on injured reserve. This indication that the Rams believe that their Super Bowl winning receiver will be able to return sometime within the next 4 weeks. Of course, the Rams could not determine does Kupp need to go on injured reserve, but still be forced to miss 4 games, whether otherwise assumption Cup could return as latest sooner than initially thought. So they're right now, the early part of the season. Of course, they're also out with Puka Nakusha, who is out, going to be out maybe for maybe 2 months. And Rams are battling through a lot of these injuries. Taking a look of their injury report, looking at their injury report right now. Okay, so the Rams continue to battle with their injuries, and we're gonna go into more as this doing this week. We hope we're gonna try to get somebody to come on our podcast for our Behind the Enemy Line segment. We're going to have Sam Farmer from the LA Times come on, but he was not available. He is not going to be available this time going around. So we hopefully we can get somebody next time when we have the chance to come on, get him when the Niners play the Rams sometime in December. So looking at it, the Niners are, this is a big ball game. You look at the NFC West, Seahawks are 2-0. The Niners are one game behind. You don't want to lose this game in the division and face the prospect of being 2 games out of first place. And, it's the Niners going to have to weather the storm, get people coming back. And, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, also just a reminder, coming up, the 49ers will be taking on the Rams for Sunday. It will be a Fox doubleheader. It's a Fox twin bill. They'll have the doubleheader window. The Niners will be a part of that late window on Sunday. Take a look at the 506 NFL maps. This is a good. This will be the Fox early game, and for those in the Bay Area, you'll get the Philadelphia Eagles and the surprising 2-0 New Orleans Saints, who shocked the Dallas Cowboys last Sunday in Big D. That's going to be the early game, a 10 a.m. game. That will be on Fox. That's the early game. And then the late game, Niners and Rams. And for the first game of the Fox early doubleheader, it will be for the Eagles-Saints game, it will be Joe Davis and Greg Olsen with the call. And then the late game, 49ers and Rams on Fox. That'd be the late game on KTVU Fox 2. Adam Eaman, former USC Trojans and Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez with the call. And that will be a 125 kickoff. And then for those of you who want to watch an early game locally, the local early game will be on Fox or on CBS. It'll be the Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Steel City. Jim Harbaugh's Chargers are 3-0, or trying to look to go 3-0 against a struggling Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And yeah, so we'll be keeping up the latest news on 49ers and so much more. We'll have hopefully try to get somebody from behind the enemy lines up, preview the 49ers and Rams tomorrow or Friday. Check us out of all the latest on 49ers news and so much more. Go to 49ers.com. And remember, the Niners will be playing the Rams as the 4:25 or 1:25 kickoff. And then the next home game, their next home game will be coming up on 11 days from now on September the 29th, when they'll take on the New England Patriots for an interconference game against the former dynasty New England Patriots. That will be the following Sunday. And then after that, they'll play the Arizona Cardinals. The Niners will be in the stretch. Will play 4 of the next 5 games at home. And there's also a stretch, the Niners, when they play the Rams on Sunday, they'll play 3 of the next 4 games are within the division. These are very important divisional games. So if you want to get tickets for the Niners and the Patriots in the upcoming home games, go to 49ers.com/ or go to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Ticketmaster.com is the official ticket provider of the San Francisco 49ers and the NFL. So let's just take a look at the standings in the NFC West just before we go off the air, as we're just at only 2 weeks into the season. I forgot to close that tab out, so we're going to do another. And take a look at the standings right now in the NFC West. The Seahawks trail the Seahawks by 1 game. They're tied for second with Arizona. Arizona with a convincing win over the Rams last Sunday. And their big young receiver, Marvin Harrison II. And you got the Niners at 1-1, both of them. And the Rams are just right out of the gate, 0-2, 2 games out of first place. So the Niners are going to have to weather the storm and try to, weather the storm to get them out of this I think in perspective, you're watching a 49ers radio live here and at Candlestick my Candlestick Man Cave, and glad you guys are tuning in. We thank all of you for watching at this time. We'll have more updates later on, give you some updates down from Santa Clara. Any developing breaking news, Niners Radio 49 will be right there on the spot and on our flagship station, Satellite Digital Media. So for the latest news on the 49ers and so much more, go to 49ers.com and check us out on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. And please, we'd like to ask you, if you have a chance, please click on the subscribe button. We're going to have plenty of content. We're trying to build this thing, try to get more followers, try to make this thing, Niners Radio 49, a global thing for all Niner fans, not just in the Bay Area, but all throughout beyond and around the country and globally as well. So youtube.com/@NinersRadio49 is the source, and click the subscribe button. And we're going to be, and then we'll have all kinds of good stuff. We'll be covering high school football games locally in the Bay Area. We'll also be doing all kinds of good stuff in the coming days and weeks. So that's it for now. Brian Professor B. Davis here in the Candlestick Man Cave. Thank you for watching Niners Radio 49 live. And we'll have more updates later on as the Niners prepare for the Rams. And thank you for watching Niners Radio 49. And wish all of you a pleasant good day.